welcome to my channel. This is the first episode of the YouTube show that I called You Asked, I Built, in which I plan to demonstrate different components that you can use to extend the Dataverse. I'm talking about components like plugins, JavaScripts, integration with Azure or PCF controls or something other. So if you have any idea of functionality that you want to get and you don't know where to start, feel free to leave the message under this video, and I will take a look on it and either give you advice or I will record the whole episode demonstrating step-by-step instructions that you can use to implement your specific requirement. The idea of first episode belongs to Business Applications MVP and my friend Mike Ox, and he suggested to combine PCF control and ClippyJS. So what the Clippy is? If you used Microsoft Office package for a while, you may remember this one guy. It's like an automated assistant that could help you when you had questions or issues, and this animated assistant could help you with an advice or just distract you from the work that you were doing, because the animations of this assistant was awesome. Once Microsoft decided to drop it, and company that is called S'more decided to give the second life to Clippy, and they made ClippyJS. So what the ClippyJS? ClippyJS is the framework that could be used inside any website, and using super simple commands and embedding functions, you can embed this Clippy or other assistants that I will show later into pretty much any website. Let's take a look what it could do. So this is the Clippy that was instantiated and ran during the opening of the website. There are also other options. You may remember that there are Merlin, this magician, or Rover if you like dogs, or if you're a cat person like myself, you could like to use Lynx. And Lynx is a kitten, and kittens are adorable. Let's take a look on animations that are available for a particular assistance. But in my video, because it is called Clippy Goes Dataverse, I plan to use this Clippy. First thing first, let me create the project for this PCF control. So I am opening my VS Code, I am opening new terminal, I am going to letter D, I am opening folder projects, I am opening folder PCF that I have, and now I will create a folder for a new PCF control that I will call Clippy PCF. So make dir Clippy PCF. Folder is done. Let's open this folder, and the next command is to create the PCF project. So in order to do it, I am running pack PCF init, and I don't remember all the commands. So I will try to help myself. So I need to provide namespace, name, and template. In our case, the namespace will be, let's say, AB Andrew Butenko. Yes. As a name, I will use just Clippy PCF, and as a template, I will use field because it will be bound to a field. It was created. Now let's run npm install in order to install all the required dependencies. And done. Now let's open the folder with the project. PCF, Clippy, done, select folder. Let's open Clippy PCF and let's open index.ts. Let's do some cleanup here. All of those commands could help you a lot and explain if you're fresh with the PCF framework. But if you build few controls already, like other developers, I believe you pretty much know what you need and where you can access it. And let's format it to make it look better. The next part, let's go to control manifest input XML and let's change it a bit. So I don't like the name sample property that will be used by default, but generally speaking, I don't plan to use this this control for editing or for other purposes. Generally speaking, this control will be used just a placeholder to put the particular control to the form. So let's call it just placeholder. And in order to make it fancier from the user configuration, user perspective, let's provide some display name, placeholder for the Clippy, and description. Let's give it some meaningful description. You can use this control. You can use this field actually, field to place Clippy to model driven app. And done. Let's build and let's try the very first run. New terminal and run npm start. If everything was done in the right way, it will just bring all the needed things, and voila, the very first run is successful. Okay, once we're done with the first run, let's start adding the Clippy to the PCF control itself. So let me stop this. And in order to use that ClippyJS, I will say framework, it is possible to add it to the current one project just from npm. So in order to add this framework to Clippy, what I can do is just to run command npm install and ClippyJS. Someone decided to pack the package and put it to the npm. So that is awesome, and now it is possible to use Clippy from the PCF control. In order to run and in order to use Clippy from the code of PCF control, I'm adding the import command, import, and just ClippyJS over here, and done. One thing that is missing in this ClippyJS is styling, and I will definitely need it. So I'm going here, I'm going to ClippyJS, and I'm looking for the place where I can get the source code from. It is here. It is here, and I'm going to source. Nope. Where is it? Agents. Nope. Build. Yes. This is ClippyJS is the thing that we need. And now I will go to raw, and I will just copy. I'll open my VS Code. I create the subfolder for CSS. New folder CSS, and I will call it new file, and it will be just clippy.css. I will open the file, I will paste the all the classes that are required here, and I close it. And in order to utilize this CSS, I have to add it to the control manifest file. Luckily we were already provided almost with all the required pieces, so I'm just copy, paste, and instead of Clippy PCF CSS, I will just say Clippy CSS. Let's do the very first run, but in order to run it, I have to call something. It will not show the agent itself without mentioning, without adding anything, any commands. Let's take a look on ClippyJS one more time, and let's take a look on the instantiation. So one more thing that is required here is jQuery. So let's go to VS Code and let's install jQuery as well. In order to do it, I'm running npm install jQuery and npm install types for the jQuery. And done. Now let's jump back to the website, and in order to load and show particular how they call agent, let's just copy this code and let's paste it into init handler. As you can see, VS Code barks, and the main reason because typing is not available for ClippyJS, so I can't import particular types from here, from this particular npm package. So in order to work around it, I'm just doing this dirty hack. Don't use it. And because I plan to work with this agent, and as you can see, this is generally speaking loads the Merlin, but I don't want Merlin, I want Clippy. As a callback, it returns the agent, and because I plan to work with this agent afterwards, what I want to do is to store it, to have the pointer to it. So I will just declare private, sorry, not a native speaker here, private agent of type any, and once, and let me change it to fat arrow to make it look fancier. And after that, I'm just saving this agent equals agent. So the first part is the first part of the code is ready. So let's run and test it. If I did everything the right way, the ClippyJS should instantiate the Clippy agent and store it to the private property of this Clippy PCF class. Okay, so moment of truth. Let's run it. npm start. Voila! This is the Clippy, and it is available inside this, how it is called, the harness. So it works. Okay, now let's try to learn this Clippy few tricks. Let me close this. Let me minimize it and let me stop the run. Yes, I want to. Let's try to do following thing. Once the value of the property to which this this particular PCF control is changed, Clippy will show this animation. Let's switch back to Clippy. Let's move it here. And once the value is changed, Clippy will just say it. And like this. Okay, so easy peasy, agent.speak. Let's jump back to VS Code. First thing first, I need to get the value of this text field. So const current field value equals context dot parameters placeholder, and let's take the formatted value. And it could be either string or undefined. So if it will be undefined, I will just put the plain string and I will say no value here. Okay, the value is initiated. Now let's just use the code that was suggested here. So it is just agent speak. So I will write this dot agent dot speak, and because I define it as any, I can put pretty much anything. And the value that will be articulated by the control is following. The new value of the field is, and I'm using the string interpolation and current field value here. Now let's test it. Save it and let's start it. Okay, Clippy is here. Now let's start changing the value. And as you can see, Clippy start saying something on the change. And it seems that it queues the execution for every single time. So, perfect, it works. Let's stop. One more thing that I can't understand is the place where Clippy is usually instantiated at. Let's take a look at the website one more time. Let me refresh. So Clippy appears somewhere here. This is definitely not the spot where I will look. I will look for this, let's say, agent, how they call it. I would expect it to be somewhere here, just in front of us. So let me use the following line of the code in order to initiate it and move it immediately after it was initiated to somewhere here. So let me just, okay, it's not possible to copy. So this is agent.move to and coordinates. Let me open. So agent show, agent dot move to, and it will be, let's say, 100, and let it run one more time. Boom. And it is already here. And if I will start to enter information, I will start immediately see that Clippy articulates this information. Okay, that is awesome, but this is just the harness. Let's try to, let's just push this PCF control into the instance, and let me play with the control inside Dynamics instance, or CDS instance, or Dataverse instance, or I don't know what's the name of this wonderful system we are working with will be tomorrow. In order to push the control into CDS instance, I will use following command: pack PCF push, and let's take a look on what I need. Generally speaking, the only thing that I really need to provide is the publisher prefix, because two other are not required. This force import and verbosity not required. So just pack PCF push and publisher prefix, and I will say AB. Yes, again, stands for Andrew Butenka. And let's push it. With the latest PCF toolkit that I downloaded, this toolkit started to provide more commands. It stores the information not only into the log file, but into it provides this information and pushes it into the console as well, so it could make the troubleshooting of issues, if you experience any, easier. So you can see it just straight away, and you have no need to open the log file and analyze what is there. Okay, so publishing, customization, it is almost there. And done. And the next part is, let's check it. Let's check how it works. Let's configure first the PCF control in the instance. Let's open the instance. And it's loaded. Let's go to advanced settings. Let's go to solutions. Let's create a new one first. Let me call it Clippy PCF test. Publisher. I will make myself the publisher, and the version will be by today's date, 2021 05 31 01. Let's save it. And I want to place Clippy on account form. Let's click new. No, let's click add existing, because I will work with account with account form. I'm unchecking this, I'm adding this form, and this is the form where I will put Clippy. Let's click finish, and let me open form. And I plan to use account name as a placeholder, but actually it doesn't matter where it will be, because it will be just, generally speaking, the blank spot. So I'm choosing this particular section. I'm unchecking only show unused fields to show account name, and I'm placing it over here. I don't want to see the label. Let me uncheck the label. I'm going to control, so I'm clicking add control, and I'm looking for Clippy PCF. It should be somewhere here. This is the Clippy PCF. Let's add, and let's select all of those. Let's hit OK. Let's save. Publish. And let's take a look on how it looks. Let's open. And it wasn't loaded. Is it the right form? It should be the right form. It should be the right form. So let me refresh, because it seems that value was not applied. And here we are. Clippy is here. And if I will try to change the value of the account, Clippy should say something to me. As you can see, it works. But let's make Clippy a bit more smarter. The first scenario that I want to use Clippy for is following. Let's say I'm creating a new account, and when I'm entering the name, the same time I want to check, are there accounts available in the system with exactly the same name, and I want Clippy to say that to me, that potentially there is a chance that this account was already added to the system. Okay, let's start. Let's go back to the VS Code, and first thing first, I have to enable the web API for my context, because by default this feature is not enabled. In order to enable it, I will just uncomment this piece, and by enabling this feature, I made the web API available for the context. So what will happen? So again, it will be by the change of the field. So first thing first, if the value is blank, in this case I definitely don't want to do any kind of validation. So instead of this no value here, I will use just the blank string. And just in case, if you are super smart and you are entering like the few spaces instead of the value, I want just to trim all those spaces. And if the value is actually just a blank string, I will just leave. Okay, the next part. The next part is cool. Based on my scenario, I want to check if the particular account with this name already exists in the system. And the easiest way is to use the retrieve multiple records. In order to make it easier, I can just go to my instance and use pre-installed solution, CRM Res Builder. If you haven't used CRM Res Builder, I really don't know what you use to build your queries. Just super perfect and useful tool that I use on the daily basis. So let's choose for primary entity, let's choose account, and I want to use retrieve multiple, and I want to use Xrem Web API because I plan to use it. And let's start building query. I don't need all the fields, and in order to check, I will really use just the count. But to return something, I will just check account ID. So the primary key of the just the primary key of account. And let's start building query. So account name equals, and let's say 1, 2, 3. I will anyway replace this value, but there is another one possibility. There is a chance that user will add the name, and the user will open existing account and try to edit the name, but after the user will change the name to the same name, and potentially it can show the false positive message. I don't want to do that, so in order to exclude the current account from the search, in the case we're not creating the record but editing the existing one, let me add one more check. Account ID not equal and 456. That's pretty much it that I need. So let's hit create request. I got this query, and this is everything that I need at the moment. So let me copy this part and let me jump back to VS Code. Let's start building query. Let's say let accounts query equals, and let's paste it. I will copy and paste this piece and leave it and put it here. I will use it afterwards. And for this part, I will again use the string interpolation, and I will place current field name here. Okay, you can ask me, Andrew, how can I get from the PCF control the ID of the current record? Don't you think it is a bit unsupported and not available? And I will have to agree with you. This is at the moment, unfortunately, not fully supported and exposed through the context and objects and all that wonderful typings that Microsoft provided us. So I created the place where I usually store all the tips that I'm usually using during development of PCF controls, and it could be found in my blog, butenka.pro. Go in there and opening PCF FAQ. Let's look for it, and this let me check. So this is the part that could be utilized, and this is the one. So the value actually is there, and it is under context mode, context info, entity ID, but it is not exposed through the typings. Okay, so first let's check if the field, if the record actually exists. So in order to do that, I am just doing check, and it is I can leave it just like that. If there will be the value, we will enter the if statement. So counts query plus equals, and again I will use string interpolation. I will copy this part that I copied before, paste it over here, and I will use this piece I used here. Instead of 4, 5, 6, I will use string interpolation. Paste it, done. Okay, the query is built, and the next step is getting of the information from the system. In order to get the information from the system, I will use context.webapi.retrieve multiple records, and in our case it will be count, and for options I will use accounts query, and that's pretty it. I can include max page size because doesn't matter one potential duplicate exists or multiple, so I can just ignore it. And now I will use then, and here will be the result. Okay, here I will have to check if there are duplicates available inside the system. If result dot entities dot and entities for us is an array of entities, so I will just check for the link. If results link equals 0, I will just return. Otherwise I will force agent to say something, and it will be account with the name that was provided already exists in the system. This is the first thing, but I want to attract some attention from the user. Let's open Clippy and let's look for something interesting, because obviously it is possible to call any of those commands. That's interesting. Nope. Get attention. That's the one. So get attention. Let me jump back and let's call this dot agent dot play, and one more time, what was it? Get attention. Get attention. Get attention. Okay, now let me deploy it. I again call PCF push -ppab and waiting for the updated version of the control to be deployed to the system. And then let's take a look. Hello, Clippy. Okay, let me copy this name, A Datum Corporation. Let me create the new one. This is wonderful glitch. Now we have two Clippys. I will work around this bug in a moment. Let me put the value over here, and this Clippy implemented what I needed. Account with name already exists in the system. Perfect. So I learned Clippy the first trick. Now let's get rid of those duplicates. And in order to do that, inside the destroyer, destructor, I will just call this .agent.hide in order to close an agent. And let's deploy it. And then let's jump back to the instance. Let me refresh the form. I don't want to save. Clippy is here. Let's jump back here. Let's open Edit Incorporation. So Clippy is here. If I will click new from here, it will disappear and the new Clippy will be shown. So this scenario is implemented. And I want my Clippy to be helpful. And I want to make him or it doing following. During the load of the form, I want Clippy to notify if there are any activities for this current account that have passed due. So let me start from advanced find. Let's open advanced find and let's build the query. Let's build the query that will give me the activities that have the due date that is in past. So I will start from not accounts, I will start from activities, and I want to get activities with status that is equal open or scheduled, because cancelled or completed means that activity was completed in this or in that way. Next part, I want to make a join to activity parties, because depending on the activity and depending on where it is located, not always activity it's regarding the is located inside the regarding field. So sometimes it's like from to. So in order to use all those options, I'm doing the join through the activity parties. And for here, I'm using party, and instead of equals current user, I will just look for a particular record. Let's say this I will anyway reuse, because I will use this as a placeholder for ID. Click add, and activity due date has to be how to define the term in the past without defining the particular date and doing some manipulations with it. I used following approach. I used older than X days, and I will just use older than X days, and I will put 1. It means that activity is older than 1 day, and it generally speaking means that it is in the past. So let's try. No activities, but doesn't matter, because it will it uses this 4th coffee sample account, and there is no chance that it has any activities. One test account that I have is this Adventure Works Cantoso, and there are overdue activities, as you can see. So I will just use it here. I will remove force coffee, and I will use adventure work Cantoso. Select add results, and as you can see there are 2 activities available. So now let's grab the fetch XML. Let's open. I will use Notepad, and okay, I will just copy and I will modify it in the VS Code. So all this scenario has to be executed during the after the agent was loaded. So let me put it over here. Let's say const activities fetch XML equals, and I will use this approach. Just this plus, and I will paste it over here. Plus, I don't need all those fields. I don't need sorting. I'm just building the fetch XML in order to use it inside the inside the init handler. And then the only thing that I have to do, the very first thing is to check if the form that is loading, it's a new one. Obviously, if it's a new one, there will be no activities. And again, I can use this approach. If context mode, context info, entity ID, but in this case, I would say it's not, then I will just leave the execution. Otherwise, I will copy this part and I will use it inside this piece of code. And again, as usual, I will use the string interpolation. And this part is not needed. Done. And now I can use this fetch XML in my query. So it will be context dot web API dot retrieve multiple records, and here it will be activity pointer, and here I will again use string interpolation, and it will be question mark fetch XML equals, and here I will have to put this query, but to escape all the character that could be used in the wrong way or encoded the wrong way, I will use encode URI component. And I'm using the callback, then results if results dot entities dot, again this is an array, so I can use link. If link is 0, so we have no activities with past due date, I will just return And if there are, I want to agent to type something. So this will be speak agent speak this account has again string interpolation results entities link activities with past due date. And in order to animate something inside this agent, I will do like it's doing some action. So agent, it's like looking for some information. Agent, I used play, and let's look for appropriate command. Checking something. Yes, checking something. Play, checking something. And done. Now let's deploy it one more time. And then let's open form, and we have overdue activities over here. So let's check it out. Would it work or not? It's looking for information, and this account has 2 activities with past due date. And if I will use account with some name that exists, let me copy this and I will try to close to change the focus. It will try to attract my attention and said that account with this name exists. Okay, so this is pretty much it that I wanted to demonstrate during this pilot episode video. That's a wrap, guys. Thank you for staying with me for the last 50 minutes and watching how I was combining PCF and ClippyJS. And if you liked the episode, hit the like. If you did not like the episode, oh, you just hurt my feelings. But anyway, if you didn't like it for some reason, please take a moment and leave the comment under this video. And especially leave the comment if you liked it and you have the ideas for new episodes. Thank you.